Hey guys, my name is Ngozi Anya and I'm a wig and topper designer based here in Toronto, Canada, to be specific in Mississauga. Now I own a wig shop here and I cater to people that want to walk in and buy wigs and toppers or want to create custom orders. This is an introductory video and I just want to tell you what this YouTube channel has to offer you. I focus on beginner users and intermediate users, right? Long-term users and short-term users, wig users, topper users or hairpiece users, and toupee users. So even for men, boys, I cater to your needs. So how I started this, how I got into creating wigs and toppers. So I think I started back in 2013. I got into a car accident actually in 2012 and my right arm was paralyzed, and it was like, I think I was in college, and no, university, not college, and I was on my way to a handball sports competition, the first sports competition that I had ever been in my entire life. And I was with my friends. We were about 40 of us in the school bus, and the school bus collided with a trailer truck, and my arm was caught at the door because the trailer truck kind of went deeper into the bus where I was sat, and my flesh was ripped out as a result, and my nerve was damaged. So my wrist was paralyzed. I couldn't use it, and so I had to go through a series of surgeries. And I know, what I remember is while lying down in the hospital bed, like 3 days later, I picked up a pen and a paper, and I wanted to see if I could still write because I wanted to write my exams. So because my wrist was paralyzed, right, I couldn't move my wrist. So I had to use my left arm to move my wrist after each word. And once I saw that I could do that, I was okay, right? And so the next thing I started worrying about was catching an infection. And I kept praying about it. And thank God I didn't catch any infection. And 1 month later, I wrote my final exams. I defended my thesis, and I studied Bachelor's of Economics. And then after that, I went to basically serve my country, Nigeria. And then after that, I traveled out of the country for plastic surgery, right? So I did a nerve graft, and because of that, I'm now able to move my wrist, right? But then the therapy wasn't done, right? Physiotherapy is a continuous thing to get back to at least 50% of what it was, right? And so I kind of quit the therapy because I didn't like it much. I just didn't like it, and I didn't want to waste my dad's money at the time because he had spent so much money to get the surgeries done. And so I didn't want to waste any more of his money. So I just was like, you know what, don't worry about it. I'll figure it out myself, right? And so in 2013, I started my full-time job, and I wanted to do a business on the side, right? And so I had all this money coming in every month. What am I gonna do with it, right? So I decided to go into selling hair extensions. And if you know Nigeria, you know hair extensions is a huge business in it. From 3 years old, 2 years old, little African girls, little black girls with textured hair are used to, especially in Africa, are used to having hair extensions in their hair, and they're absolutely beautiful. It's like a cultural thing, right? And it's also a way to preserve your hair, right? And to always look tidy with little effort, because those hair extensions could last for weeks, months. So I started selling human hair extensions. That was the thing, and it was so expensive. I was like, what is this? I want to get into it. So I started doing that. And I didn't really like it much because I just felt like, yeah, just buying and selling, that's pretty much it. There's really nothing more to do. And so once I moved to Canada for my master's degree in logistics and supply chain management, I was done with my master's program and I was looking for a job, and I was like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do with my time, right? So I love making wigs, I love hair, I love business. How do I, like, you know, how do I impact people? How do I change lives? How do I make my impact in this world? How do I leave my footprint in this world? How do I impact people in a positive way? And so I started making wigs, right? It actually started for fashion reasons, because at the time my hair kept falling off, right? My hair kept falling off. When I moved to Canada in 2015, I was in utter confusion. I had never seen my hair fall out so much in my life. Literally chunks of hair, just, I was like, what is that? Like, I would look at my hands and it's like hair all over the place. And so I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this. And I don't know how to, like, at the time I didn't know how to manage my own hair. So what I did was I started looking into wigs. I started considering wigs, right? I started looking online and I'm like, I kind of want to make my own thing and see how it goes. So I tried it with the first one, and it was good enough. It wasn't like fantastic, but it was good enough, and I wore it and I loved it, right? And then I made a few more. And then when I think in 2017, I was around this group of girls that I went to school with, and I remember a couple of them were like, where did you get your wig from? Where did you get your wig from? I'm like, I made it. And they're like, oh wow, it's so nice. Can you make one for me? And at the time I was like, I didn't know if I was going to be able to make for somebody else, because when it comes to somebody else, you kind of want to do a better job than, you know, what you do for yourself, right? So at the time I kind of shied away from it. And then every single time I started a job, wig making kept calling my name. It just kept calling my name. And so in 2020, during COVID, when I had plenty of time to decide what I wanted to do in my life, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna really delve into this thing and learn about it. And so I started learning how to ventilate, hair ventilation and stuff. So I tried it the first time and I was like, this sucks. I am never doing this again. It is so time consuming. Never. So that was it. I dropped my crochet needle. Like, I'm never doing this again. I packed up my stuff and I put it away. And after a couple of months, it kept calling my name. I'm at work and I'm thinking about it. I'm on YouTube and I'm just like hair ventilating, you know. So I started doing more research, and the better I got, the more I wanted to do it. So fast forward to 2022, I basically took a year off, and I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go back home and I'm gonna just focus on this. I'm gonna like put everything into it. So I went home and then I just got all my materials together, and I had all the time in the world, a couple months, maybe 10 months, and I just kept on ventilating and ventilating and ventilating and ventilating back to back. And I remember my mom used to be like, I can't imagine doing that. Everyone that sees me do that stuff at the time would be like, I could never do that. How can you sit down at the same spot for hours, for days, doing the same thing with little strands of hair tying, you know? So to everyone, it's like ridiculous. It's like they can never, it's like a total waste of time. But to me, it is creating something. What keeps me going is the final result, you know, just creating something that is almost like God's hands, you know what I mean? Like being able to just create something absolutely beautiful and appreciate it. And so yeah, so when I came back to Canada in 2022, after a couple months, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna open up a store. So once I opened up a business, actually I opened up the business before I opened up a store. Now once I opened up the business, and this is the most interesting part. Once I opened up the business, it was almost as if I had finally found my purpose. Does that make sense? Because the people that were looking for my services, the people that came to me, the people that I met, the very first set of customers in the very first 2-3 months that I opened up the business, you know, I had an aha moment. Now, the night before my car accident, it made sense to me in those couple months. In those couple months, what I did on the night before my car accident made sense to me. What I used to do in uni made sense to me, because I've always been somebody that loves to make people see how beautiful that they are. I've always been somebody that loves to make people appreciate themselves in their natural state. Do you know what I mean? I've always been somebody that wants to make people appreciate the way that they were created, to want for nothing more than to just look at themselves as they are and smile. Do you know what I mean? And so when I realized that the kind of clients that came to me were people that needed wigs and toppers and hair pieces just to make themselves feel like themselves again, it blew my mind. I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. This is it. This is my purpose. I'm gonna do this until I'm 90. I'm gonna continue to create hair pieces. I'm gonna continue to create smiles. I'm gonna continue to create memories. I'm gonna continue to improve people's lives. Hair, believe it or not, it means a lot to people, and therefore it means a lot to me, right? So that's why I started this whole thing. That's why I decided to open up a business. That's why I decided to put myself out there, to open up a business to people, open up my services to people. So not only do I create wigs, toppers, toupees, hair pieces, I also repair them. So if you have any of those loved units, loved hair pieces that you just can't find it in your heart to get rid of because you love it so much, but it has a tear, a bald spot, it's too big for you now, or it's too small for you now, it has less hair, or it just needs to be revived, that's something that I also do. And again, not only do I provide, I don't just sell these pieces, right? Because of my motivation to do this, I kind of can't watch you just take a piece that you have no idea what to do with and walk out the store. Do you know what I mean? So I love to educate my clients. I love to show you how to use it. I love for you to reach out to me and ask questions concerning how to enjoy your Nalva piece or whatever piece you have. So I want to educate you. I want to show you newer and better ways. I want to show you the most recent innovation when it comes to hair pieces, because it constantly changes. I want to match you with the right piece, with the right color, with the right style, with the right hair texture, with the right whatever it is you're looking for. And I also want to use my customization skills and my creativity to create something that is perfect for you. So I'm not just offering you something that's out there in the market. We're actually trying to figure out a custom solution okay, for you. We're trying to figure out a solution for your problem, not just giving you what's out there. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. I opened up my store at the beginning of I opened up my store in May of 2023, and it's been fantastic so far. I've met so many beautiful women, I've met so many amazing souls, and the fact that I've been able to help these people makes me sleep well at night. And so yeah, you can definitely, if you have any questions, if you have like any suggestions for me, because I am growing and I do want to hear from you. And frankly, a lot of things that I do, a lot of changes that I make to my business, to my portfolio, is from clients, right? Because I'm catering to your need. I right now I'm not experiencing hair loss in like a great capacity, but for people that are experiencing it in a life-changing capacity, I always want to hear from you. I always want to, sort of position my business and my services in a place that can satisfy your need. And so I'm just out here, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying what I do. I'm enjoying creating hair pieces that in my entire life I never thought I would, and so yeah, that's it, guys. Reach out to me. I have a website. It's called nalvawigs.com, and you can reach out to me via email as well, info@nalvawigs.com. And you can also visit the store. I'm located right now at 700 Dundas Street East, Mississauga, Ontario, Unit 210B. So I'm upstairs. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Guys, make sure you look out and watch out for all the information I'm gonna be giving. Tips, okay? I'm gonna be telling you about the new collection, the new products. Okay, I'm gonna show you like what I've worked on. I might be posting some customer videos as well, and also like just more information, as much information as I can overload you with. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, and have a wonderful day.